Hello students. So in the previous class when we were studying about that of the atoms and molecules students, and in that chapter we studied that what are atoms and how the molecules is formed with the help of the atom, as well as we studied that how can we decide the atomicity of that of the different element. How Dalton's atomic theory explains about atom and what are the different limitations by which his theory get discarded. Okay, as well as we studied about the very important thing, and that is valency, and how the charges and the valency help in making the formula of the different compounds. Okay, now today we will start with the new chapter of the chemistry, and that is the structure of atom. Okay, so suppose student, when we talk about the structure of atom, what are the things that we have to study in this chapter? And that is models of the atom. Okay, models, the different models which has been given to explain the structure of the atom, that we will discuss. Although this model of, there is not a single or a one model of atom is there which explain about the structure of atom, but a lot of things are there. A lot of a model is there which explain the structure of the atom. Then the atomic number and mass number students. So atomic number and that of the mass number, it means about that of the atomic mass. As well as we study in that of the atomic number and mass number, that how can we find that of the atomic mass as well as the atomic number, as well as how it help in explaining about that of the subatomic particles. Okay, so how can we determine that with the help of the atomic number, how can we say that the number of electrons or number of protons in that particular atom? Okay, and how what is the atomic mass also. So we will understand these two terms, that what is atomic number as well as that of the atomic mass. Then next one is that of the energy shells. So you see students, energy cells basically depends, when we talk about the shells here, it is talking about the level, energy level. Okay, so we will discuss about that of the shells as well as the energy levels, and which explains that what is the position of the number of different electrons present in a particular atom, and how this energy shells help in deciding the valency of the element. Okay. Then we will talk about the isotopes and isobars. These two terms both are related to that of the atomic number and that of the mass number. So we will study about the isotope and isobar as well as different examples and the applications of the isotope and isobars. Okay. And finally, we will talk about the valence electron and valency. Valence electron, it totally depends upon the electronic configuration that we will discuss when we will start with that of the energy shell, and with the help of this energy shell only, with the help of the electronic configuration, it will be very easy to find the valence electron, and when we are able to find the valence electron, valency can be found easily. Okay, so these are the different topics that we have to study in that of the structure of atom. Now we will start with that of the first topic, and that is model of atom. But before that student, let us first understand that what is this lesson set. It is about the structure of atom. Okay, so when we were talking about the atom student, what are atoms? Atoms are what student? It is the smallest particle, it is the smallest indivisible, indestructible particles which is present in the element. Okay, so the very small particle which is present in that of the particular element, that is atom. We can understand with the help of an example. If suppose student, this is a particular element. Okay, you can say any of the element like that of the chlorine. It is not necessary that you use the chlorine, you can take any of the element. So, if we say that this is an element, this is a chlorine element, so what are the atoms here student? So, the small particles which is present in this chlorine element. Okay, like that only. So it will going to fill all the chlorine atom. We can reduce the box. So you can understand, students, through the small, this ball-like structure that you are seeing, it is what? It is the atoms present in it. What does that mean? That atoms are what? Which is the smallest particle present in that of the element. So we can say the atoms are the smallest particle present in an element. Okay, students? Now these elements only they used to react together to form the compound. Okay, so when these elements they combine together to form a compound, we will say that the smallest unit of this element is the atom. Okay, so this atom only they take part in that of a chemical reaction and help in the formation of that of the product. We can understand it by that, student. If this is a hydrogen and it will react with that of the chlorine atom, what will happen? These two, if we suppose that this is the hydrogen element and this is the chlorine atom, chlorine element, when both of them they react together, then there is a formation of a hydrochloric acid. So we can say that this is a hydrogen element and the smallest element, the smallest particle is hydrogen atom, right? So in the hydrogen element, the smallest particle is the hydrogen atom. Same thing with that of the chlorine also, students. Okay, students, so we can say that either it is that of the hydrogen atom which is consisting of the hydrogen element which consisting of that of the hydrogen atom, or whether it is the chlorine one chlorine element which consisting of the smallest particle present in it, that is the chlorine atom. Okay, so when the two elements they combine together, we can say in the reaction atoms are the smallest particle which take part in it. Okay, so beside this one, we can also write in another definition of that of the atom, student, and that is atoms. We can write here, or atoms are the smallest particles which takes in a chemical reaction. So the very smallest particle, the indivisible particle which take part in a chemical reaction is the atoms. Okay, so this much we have understood that what is atom. Okay, the smallest unit. Now, when we talk about the atom, student, later on a lot of discovery has been done on that basis. It came to know what we have studied in case of the Dalton's atomic theory, student. Dalton, he explained that atoms are indivisible particles. What does that mean, student? Indivisible, it means cannot be divided further, right? Indivisible means which cannot be divided. But when we study about that of the model of the atom only, then we will understand, students. So basically what happens, student, if you see the limitation of the Dalton's atomic theory, it said that no, it is not an indivisible particle, it is not an indestructible particle, but it can be divided further into that of the electron, proton and neutron, that is the subatomic particle, students. Okay, so we can say that atoms can be further divided into subatomic particles. And what are the subatomic particles, student? Atomic particles, it means the atoms in the element in which the atoms as a particle present in it. When we talk about the subatomic, it means that is the part of the atom. So when atom get divided into 3 types, that we call as a subatomic particles. So subatomic particles, it means electron, proton and neutron. Okay, we can write it like electron, proton and neutron. Okay, so 3 subatomic particle is present in that of the atom. Now these 3 subatomic particles, it totally differ from each other on the basis of their charge, on the basis of their mass, as well as on the basis of their position. Okay, so they are having different charges, they are having different mass, as well as they are having the different position in that of the atom, students. Okay, so when we talk about the charge which is present in the different subatomic particle of the atom, that is, if we talk about the electron, student, electron is negatively charged particle. So this electron is having the negatively charged particle. When we talk about the proton, students, so you can see here a plus sign is there which indicate that it is a positively charged particle. So we can say that it is a positively charged particle. You can see here when we write that of the neutron, there is no charge. Instead of that, in some book you will see that there is a 0. So what does the 0 indicate? It indicates that there is no charge on that of the neutron. So it is a neutral charge. Neutron term came from that of the neutral. Okay, so neutron, that is the no charge on it. Okay, so one is negatively charged, one is positively charged, and another one is having no charge on its, students. Now if we talk about the charges, students, so what are the charge of that of the electron, proton and that of the neutron, students? So you see here, if we talk about the charges, okay, charges of electron, charges of proton and charge of neutron. So you know that since neutron is having no charge, students, so it will be nil, no charge will be present here. If you talk about the charge of that of the electron, so we know that since we represent electron by negative, okay, so we can say that the charge which is present in that of the electron is minus 1.6 into 10 the power minus 19 coulomb. Okay, what is a coulomb here, student? Coulomb is the SI unit of charge. Okay, so SI unit of charge is coulomb, and it means we can say that we represent charge by that of the coulomb, and the abbreviated word of the coulomb is C. Okay, so we represent charge by that of the C, which we call as a coulomb. Okay, so what is the actual charge of that of the electron, student? And that is minus 1.6 into 10 the power minus 19 coulomb. Now if we talk about the charge which is present on that of the proton, so since we represent proton by positively charged, okay, so we can say that the charge which is present on that of the proton will be equal but opposite. Okay, so equal in magnitude but opposite. Okay, so we can say that plus 1.6 into 10 the power minus 19 coulomb. Okay, so you can see the student, there is no difference in the value, but there is a difference in that of the charge. One is negatively charged, other is that of the positively charged particle. Okay, so we can say that the charges of electron and proton is equal and opposite in magnitude. Okay, so value remain the same, but the charges which is present in it is different. Charges is just opposite to each other. Okay, so this is, we are talking about the charges which is present in that of the electron, proton. Since neutron is having no charge, student, so we will leave it simply, and the charge which is present in that of the electron, proton is 1.6 into 10 the power minus 90 coulomb. Now if we talk about the masses of that of the electron, proton, student, so if you see the masses, mass of that of the electron, proton and neutron. So experimentally it has been found that the mass of that of the electron is 9.1 into 10 the power minus 31 kg. This is the mass of that of the electron. Okay, and what about the mass of the proton, students? So proton, it claims to be 1.67 into 10 the power minus 27 kg. This is the collective, we can say this is the collective mass of that of the proton and neutron. Okay, so the mass of that of the electron is 9.1 into 10 the power minus 31 kg, while that of the mass of that of the proton and neutron is 1.67 into 10 the power minus 27 kg. Now, so you see here, student, how much difference they both are having. It is almost equals to that of the 1000 times. Right? So the difference between their values will be almost 1000 times. It means the proton mass is 1000 times bigger than that of the electron. And that is why when you will study about the atom, student, you will find that we consider the mass of the electron is as a negligible as compared to the mass of the proton and neutron. Okay, so mass of that of the electron is 9.1 into 10 the power minus 31 kg, and mass of the proton and neutron is 1000 times more, that is 1.67 into 10 the power minus 27 kg. Okay, and that is why we can say that the mass of the electron is almost negligible. Okay, so we consider the mass of electron negligible as compared to mass of proton and neutron. Okay, so if we compare the mass of the electron, it is very small, it is 1000 times lesser than that of the proton and neutron, students. Now, students, we will talk about the models of the atom. So there are different models has been given to explain the structure of the atom. So we can say that the models of the atoms, basically it has been given to explain the structure. So scientists, they work on the atoms a lot to understand that what is the exact structure, what are the different contents present in that of the atom. Okay, so to study the different structure of the atom, they had given their views, they had given their models, and that model, some of the models we will study in this chapter, students. So the first model which has been given is that of the Thomson's model. Thomson's model of atom. Okay. Then the second model, it has been given by that of the Rutherford. So we will say it as a Rutherford's model of atom. Okay, so Rutherford's model of atom. Then the last one which is given in your syllabus, and that is the Niels Bohr. So Niels Bohr has also given a model, and that is the Niels Bohr model of atom. Actually, it has been given by that of the Niels Bohr. So we, instead of the Niels Bohr model of atom, we can also write as a Bohr model of atom or Bohr's model of atom. So these are the different types of a model of atom that we have to study in class 9 students. So we'll start with that of the Thomson model of atom. Let me tell you again that these all three model of atom explain about the structure of the atom, how the different particles in that of the atoms are placed, and by this only they came to understand that atom is not the individual particle, student, but it is having something in it by which we can say that it can be divided further. It consisting of the different element and different particles in it by which we can divide it further. So let us understand, let us start with that of the Thomson's model of atom. Thomson's model of atom, it is basically given by a scientist, and that is J.J. Thomson. J.J. Thomson model, the Thomson model of atom has been given by that of the J.J. Thomson. So Sir J.J. Thomson, he explained about the atom. He said that atom is what, student? It is like a watermelon. First of all, he said one thing, that if we see the structure of the atom, the structure of atom is what? It is spherical. Okay, so atom basically he considered that it is a spherical in nature, it is a sphere. And then he start comparing the sphere of the atoms with the different things. So he explained that this spherical structure is like that of the watermelon. If you see the watermelon, student, what is there in that of the watermelon? All the portion of that of the watermelon consisting of the red part. Okay, so we can say that this whole portion is consisting of that of the red part, and in between them the small black seeds are present in that of the watermelon. So we can say that there in between a small seeds are present in it. We can understand it is the black seeds of watermelon. So he explains, student, that as you cut the watermelon into two parts, and if you take the one part, you will see that the red portion will be there, the sweet juice from where you take the juice. That red portion will cover that of the watermelon, and in between them a black seeds of the watermelons are present in it, or he can say it is embedded in that of the watermelon. Okay, so same thing he said about that of the atom. So he said that atom is what? It is spherical in nature, consisting of uniform sphere of a positive charge. So he said that if suppose you take this spherical portion of that atom as a positive sphere, it means it is the total sphere consisting of a positively charged particles. So like that, the red portion of that of the watermelon, students, so red portion of the watermelon, it covers the whole of the watermelon. So we can say that it is a uniform sphere of positive charge. It means the positive charge is uniformly spread. It is present throughout that of the sphere, and in between this positive sphere, like that of the black cyst which is present in the watermelon, electrons are embedded in it. Okay, students. So here also you will see that in case of the watermelon, both are equal to each other. Okay, so we can say that in case of that of the watermelon also, the red portion of that of the watermelon, that is, we consider them as a positive sphere of atom, and the black seeds which remains embedded in that of the red portion of that of the watermelon or in the watermelon, we will consider them as the electrons which is embedded in that of the positive sphere, students. Okay, so almost you will see that the structure of that of the watermelon to that of the atom is same, and that is why J.J. Thomson model is also known as a watermelon model of atom. Okay, watermelon model or the Thomson model is the same thing. Okay, so I hope you have understood. Most of the time this question is asked that why Thomson model of atom is known as that of the watermelon model, student. So you will write that in case of the watermelon, it is consisting of the red portion, that of the juicy portion which cover the watermelon, and the black seeds are embedded in that of the watermelon. Like that, this atom, according to Thomson, that he said that atom is what? It is a positive sphere, the uniform positive sphere in which the electrons are embedded, like that in case of watermelon seeds. Okay, and that is why it is known as a watermelon. Not only this, student, if you compare this model with that of a plum pudding. Okay, so what is there in case of a plum pudding? So in plum pudding also you will see that in the dry fruits are embedded in that of the pudding, students. So we can say that likewise the plum pudding in which the dry fruits are embedded in the pudding, same like that electrons are also embedded in the positive sphere. Okay, students? So atom is what? We consider them as a sphere, and that is a positive sphere according to J.J. Thomson model, and he explained that it is like that of the watermelon as well as it is like that of a plum pudding cake, in which dry fruits remain embedded in that of the cake or that of the plum pudding. So we can say that it is not only known as that of the watermelon model of atom, but also sometimes known as a plum pudding model. So you have seen here there are three different names of that of the Thomson model of atom. The first one is the Thomson model because J.J. Thomson has given this model. The second one we sometimes call it as a watermelon model of the atom, as well as it is also known as that of the plum pudding model, students. Now we will see that what are the postulates has been given by that of the J.J. Thomson model. So question if it is asked that what are the different postulates of the model of atom, student? So the first postulate which is given by the Thomson, that is, so the first point is, student, that atoms are consisting of uniform sphere of positive charge in which electrons are embedded, or we can say in which electrons are uniformly distributed. Okay, now you see here, students, atoms consisting of a uniform sphere, or we can say simply that atoms are that of the uniform sphere of a positive charge in which electrons are embedded. Okay. Then the second one, which is explained by that of the Thomson, that is the number of electron and proton are equal. Thus, atom is electrically neutral. So you see here, students, when we talk that okay, it is a uniform sphere of the positively charged. So if it is of a uniform sphere, a uniform positive sphere, and electrons are embedded in it, so the question arises that is it all the electrons are equal to that of the proton, or how the atoms is a neutral one? So it is because the electrons which is present, which is embedded in that of the sphere, as well as the positive sphere of that of the proton, both are equal in magnitude, and thus we can say that both of them are equal. The number of electron is equal to that of the number of proton present in that of the sphere. Thus, it makes the atom all along electrically neutral. Okay, and that is why atom does not have any kind of a charge on it. So this is what, student, this is the Thomson model of atom given by J.J. Thomson. Okay, so he explained that an atom is what? It is a uniform positive sphere in which the electrons remain embedded in it, and these electrons, number of electrons is equal to that of the number of proton, and thus overall the atom is a neutral. Okay, it does not have any charge. Okay, as well as he explained that the basis of his explanation of the model of atom is he compared the atom to that of the plum pudding as well as to that of the watermelon, and he said that like the watermelon, the seeds remain embedded in it. So we can say that atom is also a positive sphere in which the electrons are embedded in it. Likewise, if we talk about the plum pudding, students, so where the dry fruits are embedded in the cake, in that of the pudding, so we can say that electrons are also like that of the dry fruits which remain embedded in that positive sphere. Okay, so this is what? This is the J.J. Thomson model of atom.